Well, it's been a pretty productive session for me so far, which I'm still not finished with the squatting part of the session right now at the time of this voiceover. But I came out here tonight and decided to do some upper body work, a little bit of overhead press, a few sets of benching with dumbbells, nothing crazy. Let's see, these here would be 10, 20. These are roughly like 22-pound dumbbells. Did a few sets on bench, decided to do some overhead press with them, and then shortly after this, I moved up to, let's see, what are these? 10, 20, 25, 30, so probably about 32-pound dumbbells, and did one or two sets of overhead press with those, and one or two sets on bench with those as well. Mixed in a few sets of Bulgarian split squats as well, mainly just to stretch the hip flexors. You can see the grimace on my face there. That's me really trying to get into that hip flexor and stretch it as much as I can. But besides that, that's mainly been, my session tonight was to come out here, do some upper body work, in the downtime between the sets, do a little bit of movement through the legs just to pump some more blood through them, because my hamstrings are sore. I ran probably pretty close to an all-out mile yesterday. It was definitely pushing 90% or more. But now my hamstrings are sore, and the soreness in my lower back, my erectors, are still there, or is still there, from the set of 50 on squat I did with the plate, I think 3 days ago now at this point. And then I'm sure that the mile run last night, basically, close to a sprint, probably, contributed to that soreness as well. But I got out here and I don't know, throughout the day, I feel like pretty confident. But when I sit down and I kind of watch these videos, my arms have definitely gotten smaller than whenever I started this squat everyday journey. So it really pushes me to throw back in some, upper body push work. Like from this angle here, I think I look, pretty stacked, pretty solid. But, like when I was doing the Bulgarians, the back of my arm, like my tricep essentially, looks pretty flat. And I don't know, man. There's really, not an excuse for it. It's just that I kind of quit training upper body push, and that's nobody's fault but my own. So I may start looking into some more upper body work and a little bit more bench work, because I know that eventually that's going to play a factor in other areas of life outside of training. I don't know, I mean, until you get to the point where you're actively chasing like marathon times or, really trying to progress like mobility, I'd say that most of the time more muscle mass is going to be better for you. It's going to be more beneficial. You've got more tissue there to protect the joints. You've got more strength to protect the joints, and, just kind of more padding, if you want to look at it that way. But I don't know. In my job at work, I work a pretty physical job. I'm currently an apprentice electrician. But if I've got to be holding, light fixtures over my head for 5 minutes at a time while I wire them and, hang it, it would definitely suit me to be stronger in that scenario. Basically any time that I'm working overhead or doing anything physical, being stronger in a particular muscle or a particular range of motion would never be detrimental. You know what I mean? Mark Bell has got that quote, strength is never a weakness and weakness is never a strength. And so when I come out here and I watch these videos back like I am right now through the voiceover, and I can notice some changes in my body that are, less than ideal, it kind of pushes me to start taking some steps again. Probably gotten a little too lackluster, maybe a little too complacent, because I believe that maintaining is really, really easy, to be honest with you guys. Like, for example, I maxed on bench probably like around a month ago at this time, maybe 2 months ago, and I believe I hit, I think it was 235. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe I benched 235. Well, my best ever bench is 255, and that was like over 2 years ago now. And leading up to that time, I'm telling you guys, I was benching as heavy as I could handle, like 3 times a week. Like as soon as I recovered from the soreness enough to come in and hit another heavy bench, I was. And then after I hit that 255 mark, I really fell off from benching. And within the last year, I'm lucky to bench 2 or 3 times a month. And I can still come out here and hit 20 pounds short of my all-time bench max. Same with the pull-ups. Let's be generous here and say that I do, anywhere from 100 to 200 pull-ups a month. All right. Right now, I could get up on the bar and probably do, 20 pull-ups in one set. As a matter of fact, I think I did that the other day. And so if we're talking all-out max, maybe, 22, 23. You guys know what my best set is on pull-ups? 28. When I hit that 28 rep PR, that was at a time when I was putting in over 200 pull-ups a week. I'd come out and hit a 200 pull-up workout. It was nothing for me to do that. And so you see, it's very, very easy to get complacent when, I can come out here and still hit, 20, 30 pounds short of my all-time PR without even really training for it anymore. Because, I look back at those, phases of training, and those were grueling times, man. That type of training, I was throwing everything I had into it. And so now I can come out here and, just mess around for, 20, 30 minutes a day and still come out here and put in at least 70% of what I used to be able to. And that's a dangerous place to find yourself, guys. Because you get accustomed to that and you still think you're sitting in, pretty good shoes still. Because you can come out here and still put up 70% until you are a year or 2 years down the road and you're looking back and you're like, all right, now I'm starting to lose it. What went wrong? Well, for the past 2 years you've been complacent. You kind of gave up on it. I guess that's all I got for today, guys. I need to get inside and get into bed. Just some thoughts on my head tonight going through and looking at this. My upper body used to be, probably the most impressive part of my physique. And now I look at my arms and they look flat. And so I start thinking about all the training and stuff and, I've gotten complacent with it. And there's nobody to blame but myself for that. But anyways, hope you guys, have a good night and I'll catch you all tomorrow.